Okay, so now for the next 30 minutes. And before we have him totally off leash and on e-collar, I just want to proof him around the dogs today, as far as coming with calling, etc. and so forth. Chief, sit. So I got a poop to pick up down there. Ah, the boy. Chief, come. Sit. So some of these commands Chief was exposed to before me, so we've been doing a lot of just polishing up on the finer points. So one of the finer points being able to be off leash but on e-collar, Shannon break, and not rushing at dogs, and listening, and building in calmness into his routine. So socializing isn't usually done correctly about letting dogs go at it with each other, unless they know each other. If you've been around many dogs for a while, you'll realize they have different personalities, different play strategies, but not all dogs have been exposed to every personality and play strategy or temperament, or dogs who may have not had a great experience. Chief, come! Chief, come! Good boy. Nope. Chief, come. Sit. No. So that playing down there is a group of friends who have known each other for most of their lives, actually. Clooney trained here as a puppy. Boris! No, sit. Come. Kitty, come. Come. I know, sit. Sit. Stop. So building up some impulse control around other dogs so they can go and greet later on close up properly can be very important. Unless you have a baby puppy in some instances, or a dog that's just naturally very socialized, and I know only a few of those in my lifetime. Or Clooney's teasing my dog, Boris. Sit, no, stay. Very friendly dogs that don't have the social skills can get themselves in a lot of trouble. Boris and Clooney know each other very well. And so does Shayna and Clooney. That's her best bud. Sometimes she gets snarky if she's scared of other dogs, of her friends. But right now she's focusing all of that angst on the teaser ball over there, which is creating a great distraction for this guy. Good boy. one of the more important skills in socializing dogs is the ability to call them back to you. Chief, come. So I just for the first time took Chief's training wheels off, or my training wheels, the leash. So before I put an e-collar on a dog, I have to feel very good with skills they already have. This is not the time to train him not to charge. We've done some of that before. Of course, stuff happens, but I feel pretty good about it. after today's session, we're going to let Chief take a break and have some quiet time, and then we'll do some indoor kind of exercises, possibly around these same dogs, maybe not, depends what we're doing. And he's doing good. So just because he's calm when he goes past does not mean I trust him the same and the muzzle's off, or to get close and have like a real, without any possibility of command interaction yet. With Cujo and Bandit, maybe. More so Bandit, probably. Huh. More so Bandit. But Cujo also, and actually this one cuddled up next to Cujo, so probably Cujo. Cujo didn't mind. The thing with having a dog this big is that almost everyone, with the exception of my dog Boris, is already put off by his size. And you know, if he fluffs himself out at all, that makes him look even bigger. My dogs have been around my dog Boris and other dogs have been around some pretty big dogs, so, and most of them have been very nice. So that's not so much of a issue for them. Shane is equally as afraid of small dogs as she is as large dogs, and she also corrects them the same, which is her problem. Or she might be just being a bully around small dogs. I'm not sure. I just know she's afraid of dogs. It's very possible she's a bully with some smaller dogs. And the ones that she does have smaller dog friends. So when she gets to know a dog, it's friendship for life when she truly, truly accepts them. But it takes, I know the cues that let me know that Shayna is about to accept someone. Very rarely does she accept a friend in 3 weeks when they're doing a board, like totally, as in she's going to play with them and feel comfortable around them. She might be interested in them in 3 weeks. So when you're socializing dogs, it's not just throwing them all together and letting them play and, God forbid, sorting it out if there's a problem. You want to have the tools already in place to be able to command and prep your dog. Clooney, come! Clooney, come! I see you, the boy. Before you're in a situation where you need to act. And again, stuff happens, but the more prepared you are, the more you've stacked your odds in your favor, which is what we're doing with Chiefy here. Chief laid down. Let me show you what Chief's doing. So Chief's feeling pretty comfortable about the whole thing, clearly. I don't think other dogs frighten him. You know, I think he's young and he plays exuberantly and he has that wrestling play style. That dogs need to be familiar with the dog in order to really get into. I mean, I think that's it. The reason why he has the muzzle on is I'm not totally sure that's the whole picture. And like I said, you want to have a good feeling about that before you take off the muzzle. You don't want to be finding that out when the teeth are already in the dog. But as you can see from his posture and everything, he's relaxed. He's not a dog that's barking. It's going to set him off, for instance. Shayna! Quiet. Good girl. So that's all good, good, good. His main issue is fear of people, of course. The more we can get him controlled around things he wants to get to, the more he'll be controlled around things he's frightened of too. So we're bringing him around people too from a distance until the obedience is what I would like to see. And it's getting there, as you can see. Not that he's not in obedience command now, but a lot of what obedience training does is also start to calm the dog down when it's right, which means when you do it right, which means you always have a goal in mind. So whenever I'm just watching him because my dog's coming over to me. So when you have a goal in mind, you have to make it in some form, and you can't. So in order to make your goal without pissing yourself off or draining the dog, you also want to have a reasonable goal, which a lot of people start to go way too fast for the dog. And I don't like to slow it down either, but there's a time where things that you're not going to want holes in the training for. And so when you go too fast and you have holes, it's when you have problems, your dog's not so in control, and you're spending a lot of time controlling the dog instead of having them nice and relaxed and in control themselves. He's fascinated by Shayna. So I think I'm going to let Chiefy in to maybe relax. He's seen his dogs he's most fascinated with because they're a mystery out here playing. And we'll get Shayna playing and doing her thing. All right. Chief, come. So of course, my camera got turned, but I was over there with Chief, and Boris came close, and I had one of those things that I keep the muzzle on Chief. It was just quick. He went over the top of Boris and made a mean noise, and I was able to get him back into a sit, but that's exactly why. Boris trusts me to keep him safe, and he doesn't feel the need to defend himself if I'm with him and I've taken all the precautions. If I haven't, of course, he's going to defend himself. It was also interesting to note that, and not that it's 100% infallible, but everyone came and was around Chief calm. So that tells me that they may not feel he's much of a threat, which is always good, but we do have to keep those things from when he's close up, lunging or getting over the top of a dog, not happening. So he's got a ways to go with that, but he's a nice dog. He just needs training. He's big, and all dog personalities are different, and they take a different amount of work. And like I said, his owner has done some great work with him, which has allowed us to go farther. But my instincts have told me not to take the muzzle off around dogs, so I'm glad I did. I know a lot of people will complain and say let dogs be dogs and all of that, but if you let dogs be dogs, that can sometimes be fatal or result in injuries and a lack of trust, so we not want to do that.